Football without fans is nothing. It can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch it, it becomes nothing.
Johnston. And a goal by Johnston. That makes it 2-1.
We were magnificent. Magnificent.
Larson. Oh, he's in. Henrik Larsson. That is sensational. Nakamura.
The game is over. The Rebels have won.
He's done it! Jarman's put it in, and without a doubt, the European Cup is on its way.
We'll never stop. We'll stop at half time, and we'll stop at the end of the game when we celebrate.
Alright guys, another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast. It's Easter Sunday and Celtic have unfortunately lost to Rangers in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. Paddy, I want to just start off, before we go any further, I just want to just start off in saying that to set the tone, my tone anyway, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But I want to just say that at the start of the season, things were looking so bleak for Celtic. You would have been sent to the madhouse if you mentioned the word treble and Celtic in the season. We've lost today, the treble dream is off, but I just want to say that kind of goes to show how far we've came this season. But today we went into it as marginal favourites, I would say, and we lost in extra time to Rangers, who they've just played their second game in extra time over the course of 3-4 days, I don't know. Mate, obviously disappointing. I don't know what your attitude is, if you're looking for scapegoats or if you're kind of being placid about it. Tell me, where are you?
Mate, funny enough, I'm actually not that bad. Usually I'd be fucking distraught. I'd be kind of setting up the noose. But today it's a hard one. But do you know what? As you say, mate, at the start of the season, if we were to say Celtic be a hunt for a treble, do you think we could win a treble? No. Do you think we could win a double? No. So we've got a chance to win a double. My apologies. The treble today is gone. It's a hard one to take, but it's not that hard. We need to focus, regroup, reconcentrate, and go and win that fucking league, because today it showed that we are not the complete side that we think of, that everybody thinks is. We're not that good that everybody thinks is. We're not this fucking juggernaut that everybody thinks we are. So, aye, that's what it is, mate. We've lost the treble. We've lost the day to the fucking rotten mob. It's a hard one to swallow, but do you know what? We'll bounce back, mate. We'll bounce back. I'm really, really no as bad as I thought I would be.
Mate, well,
genuinely, for the first time in my life, mate, I'm actually not fucking that distraught. I'm gutted, mate. I'm gutted that we lost it so late on. But I am not fucking, as I say, reaching for the noose. I'm not that bad. Really not.
Aye, well, you said we've lost the treble, and I was almost about to say we've lost Paddy because I don't recognise this man in front of us, but I'm doing you a disservice. You are quite level-headed. Parliament, how you doing, mate? All right, I was already thinking about that. Thanks for the confidence, mate. Aye, guys, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. Aye, right, okay, Paddy, the actual game itself, going into it, as I said, we were kind of marginal favourites, and I think the game could have gone either way. If Cameron Carter-Vickers scored that chance for a hit off the bar, we'd be having big fucking smiles on our face. Now, it would have been 2-0. I don't see any way that Rangers could have come back into it, but I don't like to give them any credit, but they showed a lot of heart coming back in, but we opened that door. The first half, we were gashed, by the way. We were so bad enough.
Yes.
And as you said, we can take it, the defeat. We can take the defeat because, you know, we've had so many victories in our lifetime in the Celtic and Rangers games. You need to take it with I don't even know what I'm saying, but
go on, mate. Spit out.
Don't get too carried away with the highs and don't get too carried away with the lows. I see at half time, we were that bad. At half time, I was saying to the people I was with, by the way, today I've met the first person who's actually ever been to the 1967 European Cup final. I was in someone's company today who was at that game, and that's a first for me. But back to my original point, going in at half-time, we were that bad, and I was saying to the guys, and they agreed with me, that we can be so much better in the second half, so I'm not really fearful. I'm just worried that we might not be able to G ourselves up. There was a lot of passengers in the Celtic team. You could say about half of them were on their game, another half were passengers. I know it's not a day for scapegoats, but there are a few names that we could mention. Any comments that you want to read out? Hope you're all doing well. And by the way, I hope everybody's safe tonight, no matter what you're doing. Just
listen, Easter Sunday, guys. It's a shit result. There's no masking over that. But do you know what? Fuck it. Hey ho, we've lost fucking better games than this. We're still on for a double. If you'd asked me at the start of the season, do you think Celtic could have won 2 out of 1? No. Celtic's still on for 2 and 1, mate. Still want to win first trophy of the season in the league. If you'd asked me that, say, would you take that? I'd have said, absolutely. Today was terrible, mate. Celtic really underperformed today. The Newco, Old Firm FC, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they come off the back of a grueling game midweek, and Celtic never exploited that. So, as far as I'm concerned, mate, this one's on Celtic. We really should have won that. We should have went for the jugular. We should have attacked them from the start. We should have went after them. We never done it. That is what it is. They managed to grind out a result. So, fair play to them. In all fairness, fair play to the cunts. A treble's always hard to win, mate. Always hard to win. There's no guarantees of you start a season, you're going to win a treble. You know, everybody's spoken about how good the Celtic team is now, how good the rapport is, how fluent the team is. But these kind of results kind of bring you back to ground, mate. You know, so it shows that you're not that fucking Superman team. You know, the greatest team in the world. You know this, you know that. You need to work on it. And a team that was blighted by injury, they had Ramsey coming off injured as well. To be fair, mate, they bossed that game, the majority of the game, so they deserve to win it. I'm not going to beat about the bush. They deserve to win that game. So fair play to the Fox. Aye. It just shows that we need to work on our game. But as I say, a treble is so hard to win. There's only been 3 trebles in the entire history, Gav. So that is what it is, mate. It's a sore one, guys. It's a sore one, but do you know what? It's not that fucking sore, because we're still going to go and win the league. We're still going to win the first cup of the season. We're still going to win a double. Fuck me, bastards.
See with the lineup, did you have any surprises? So the back 5, it was the usual suspects. The midfield was the same old Tati, McGregor, Rogic. And up front, obviously with Giakoumakis playing out, I think the game would have been massive. Giakoumakis playing.
Yeah.
But Giakoumakis, it's no secret, he failed his fitness test. And it was Maida who was playing up front. Maida has been very good in the past few months. Jota on the left and Abada on the right. Now, the proof was in the pudding whenever Giakoumakis did go off. Everybody was clamouring for Kyogo to come on. But the replacement was Abada, who came on for Giakoumakis last week at Parkhead, the 7-0 game. So that probably would have been a massive indicator that Kyogo wasn't fully 100% fit, even though we've been hearing comments that he's been buzzing about training. The proof is in the pudding, mate, and he never started the game. So with the lineup itself, were you happy? Were you reasonably happy with it? And did you think that they'd be able to do themselves justice on the pitch against Rangers?
I thought I was reasonably happy when I seen Abada starting up front, because I thought with the comments from Ange Postecoglou midweek, Gav, and he said that Kyogo isn't ready to play 90 minutes or 120 minutes. So I thought Abada starting would have been a decent one, because he would have been able to run the legs off whoever it was that played centre half. But as it started out, we started off with Maeda left, Jota right, and Maeda through the centre, Jota left, and Abada through the right. which I thought was kind of wrong because we've been really settled the last few weeks in Maeda playing on the left and Jota on the right. So we've changed that again. We've went out of shape. We've went out of system. We've tried to kind of shoehorn Abada to right wing, which to me was the right thing. But as you can see why Maeda played through the centre, so he can kind of try and run the legs off of Goldson and Bassey. And you see why Abada was on the right hand side to go and try against Barisic, who picked up a midweek injury. I never worked out, mate. I never worked out. Abada was terrible. Terrible. Maeda was a pest as always. And Jota was fucking Mr. Anonymous again. Which is pish. Mate, we're talking about big game players here, and Jota was not one of them. There's been that kind of big discussion all season. Who would you rather prefer to sign? Jota, Cameron Carter-Vickers? Right now, I would tell you Cameron Carter-Vickers because Jota was fucking anonymous. Terrible. Absolutely pish. But as we estimated, mate, Kyogo would come on at some point, and then the formation would be kind of back to settled-ness. So you're talking Maeda on the left, Jota on the right, Kyogo through the centre. It worked. It worked out a lot better. But listen, we just weren't effective enough. You know, people are saying like if Cameron Carter-Vickers had scored that chance, we would have won it. Aye, probably. But you know what? We didn't. So we weren't effective. We weren't as kind of in your face as we expected. And listen, all credit to that other crowd. They played us off the park at times. They controlled the midfield. They were just a better team. So they deserve to win, even though the referee in the middle, the baldy bastard with the kiddie on beard, was an absolute disgrace. I'm not going to lie, it was a fucking disgrace. But they were still the better team, in my opinion. So that is what it is, mate. It's a hard one to take, but you know what? It's not the worst one.
Right, have we got any comments to kind of G us up? What have we got for Joseph arguing? How Paddy? I did say this all week. Extra game they played that made them fitter. Surprised and disappointed, but they did well. Go Hearts for the cup. I couldn't bring myself to support Hearts, but I'll just zone out. I'll zone out. I won't even watch that game. I tried to say it, but Old Firm FC in the second half.
That's a new one there, mate. Kieran, hail, new subscriber here from the Keith the Dub on the hoops. Thanks, pal. Thanks for joining in. As we say, listen, it's no a great day by any fucking measure for Celtic supporters. We've been beat by our nearest rivals. But do you know what? I'm not actually that fucking... I'm not that distraught, Gav. Any other time, mate, if it was a Scottish Cup final, Scottish Cup semi-final, excuse me, we'd be beat by our nearest rivals, I would be fucking disgusted, I'd be distraught. But do you know what? At the start of the season, from where we've come from till now, a treble was always going to be so hard to come by, even though today, mate, was a lacklustre performance and we could have done so much better. But at the end of the day, you look at the end of the season, if we win the league and we win a trophy, then it's a success by no measure. So today is just going to be one of the ones, it's a learning curve. It's one of the ones you look at your guys and say, right, this guy can be trusted, that guy can't be. You look at Greg Taylor and Carol Starfelt, two guys that have been massively put under pressure by opinion, by comment, by everything. Everything's been against these two guys. And today, mate, they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. And I heard some comments at half-time saying, bring Greg Taylor off because he'd been shite and no being up for it. No, Greg Taylor was brilliant before half-time, mate. He really was. And, mate, Gav, I've been one of the guys who's been really against Greg Taylor. No to badness, just because I didn't think it was very good. But today, mate, Greg Taylor was brilliant. His covering was brilliant. His tackling was brilliant. His positioning was brilliant. Same for Starfelt or no. First half, I thought the two guys were brilliant. And I really can't fault their effort and their desire. And he started off the second half, mate. Greg Taylor scored. So, that's why he stayed on the park.
I do remember you using some colourful language against the likes of Greg Taylor and Carol Starfelt over the course of the season. But you call a spade a spade. When they do well, you give them praise. Whenever they do badly, then you criticise. And you can't ask any more fairness than that. Where do you think it all went wrong for Celtic today? Because at one point, whenever we did go 1-0 up and we were close to going 2-0 up, it looked as if it was almost in the bag. And at that point, we were thinking, like, all we need to do is just lift ourselves, play that a wee bit better, and then we've got their number. But Rangers came back, and at that point, their confidence soared. At one point, their fans, you wouldn't even think they were in the ground, but after they score, and we're playing pish at that point, that they're singing away, the atmosphere completely changes. In terms of, I want to talk to you about the drive, about the hungerness, and even the physical stamina of the players. Rangers appear to have that in spades today. And I don't know how we got caught cold. I don't think we got caught cold. We just didn't show up for the majority of the game. The first half we were right rotten, mate. Even in the second minute, McGregor had to make like a last-ditch tackle on Kent because he was 2 on goal. And I was hoping that wasn't going to be an omen for things. Going in at half-time, I was really worried about just the physical superiority that Rangers had. And I remember like throwing out that question in the podcast like a week or two ago. And some of the comments, and maybe rightly so, was that, well, if you're that technically superior like we are to our counterparts in Glasgow, then the physicality shouldn't come into it. But it's a game of football. And if you don't show the same eagerness, if you don't match them yard for yard, inch for inch, then if you don't do that, then you won't earn the platform to show your technical superiority. You can't arrive at a game knowing that you're better and expecting to win the game. You need to fight for it. So where did we go wrong in that aspect, Paddy?
Mate, I think where we went wrong today, and this probably kind of permeated into the first team, is overconfidence. I think we looked at the result midweek and we saw Rangers playing kind of 120 minutes, 125 minutes. We thought, right, Barisic took an injury at St Mirren, this and that. Hollander took an injury at St Mirren, whoever it was. Fucking, they were stretched out to 125 minutes, and we thought maybe our guys have had a bit of a break. We're going to be the fitter, we're going to be the faster, we're going to be the more outpouring team straight away. But as I say, I hate to fucking say this, mate, but fair play to they bastards, they came out the trap and they dominated midfield, and midfield is where it was won today. Hatate was decent. He was decent on the turn, but at the same time, they totally overran our midfield three, and everything came from the midfield.
I've got to say, I thought Hatate and Rogic, well, they looked more or less anonymous. Rogic was so dangerous. And Ibrox, the 2-1 game, but today his first touch was bad. Hatate, his touch was bad. Hatate, I was surprised. I hope that the viewers don't think here's the crack showing and I was going for the jugular here, or for me going for the jugular. But just being honest, calling it like I see it, not looking for scapegoats, but I thought Hatate, I was surprised that he stayed on the park for so long because I thought he was that poor. I think, I think he played well. I don't know why he's hot and cold. He's still a young player, of course. And of course, he has played for like a full season in Japan. He won the league. But Rogic, I don't think was very good today either. I thought McGregor was driving it a lot of the times for Celtic. McGregor, I'm happy with. He turned in a captain's performance, mate. I thought Jota was really, really bad. Jota was.
Aye, mate. McGregor carried that midfield all day long. As I say, I know Hatate kind of tried to chip in and do the dirty bits now and again. His turning was good. He was good in the pirouette, but he was really ineffective. Tom Rogic was the man who you were looking to be your pivotal point because of his experience, his technicality, his quality. He never done it. So the old firm FC or fucking Sevco, whatever the fuck you want to call them, they overran the midfield, mate, and that's where the winning point came from. The midfield, they won the midfield. It started for the midfield. Celtic obviously got a goal from a set piece, which was right after training ground. I thought it was a great goal, fantastic goal. Greg Taylor, by the way, fucking great performance for Greg Taylor today. I know a lot of people were saying Greg Taylor was stinking the first half and they couldn't do this and they couldn't do that. I thought he was brilliant, mate. I really did. Him and Starfield, which is two guys that I'm really shocked that I'm hearing myself saying that they had a great performance. But they did. If Starfield was kind of caught short, Greg Taylor was covered from. And if, on the opposite, if Carol Starfield was caught short, Greg Taylor was coming from. So they did their job, mate. Just the midfield was really ineffective.
Paddy, you know what I found? See, whenever we were playing at Hampden, I thought with the bigger pitch compared to Parkhead or Ibrox, I thought the bigger pitch would have suited us better. And I was looking for the pace of Maida, Abada, and the trickery of Jota to really excel. I would give pass marks to Maida. I thought Jota and Abada were under par. But another thing which is characteristic of Celtic or Postecoglou teams is always passing out from the back. I thought that we were struggling to do that, and we're just hitting long balls with hopeless long balls, and nobody was picking up. We didn't have that Giakoumakis presence. We didn't have anyone to hold the ball up to win the aerial challenges. A lot of times we were just punting up the park, and that I don't know what Postecoglou was thinking. If that was going against his instructions, I would have thought it was going against his instructions. I know that sometimes you need to just hoof it up the park if the press is too intense. Rangers pressed it very, very well today. Our pressing was not impressive at all. Another win for Joseph Agnew. Well said. Roderick looked tired. And
sorry, mate. I'll get that one back off you.
Roderick looked tired. O'Reilly looked tired, injured. Kyogo running in on goal. Should have passed it to Forrest, but just a corner. Even Kyogo, whenever he came on, he didn't look 100%.
Aye, mate. And thanks to Stephen Kelly for this one. I got your link through Ryan 118 and other Celtic links. Good stuff, blocks. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate you jumping on. John Alexander, going to take a flying fuck to yourself. Excuses, just deal with it. The best team won. We can obviously see you're a fucking mongoloid fucking Hun bastard. Go and fuck yourself. But yes, absolutely, you're right, John. The best team did win. I can't deny that.
I don't see any excuses here. If we're being honest and saying
no, mate. There's absolutely no excuses.
We're barely even started on the referee. What I'm pissed off at is, and by the way, I wouldn't even say I'm pissed off. I'm not pissed off. With the fact that Rangers won today, my comfort blanket is that we're almost going to win the league, and that'll be the double for Celtic. And compared to, said at the start of the podcast, compared to the start of the season, the feeling now where we are, how we're playing, compared to how bleak it was, it's night and day. There's no excuses from us. We're acknowledging that Rangers were the better team. However, it's just frustrating whenever your team don't turn up, when they don't play to their full capacity. The referee, of course, never helped, but no, I don't know.
Gav, I'm in the same camp as you, mate. I'm not gutted, mate. I'm pissed off a wee bit with the performance, but do you know what? It's one of the ones, mate. It's a regrettable performance because we could have won it, but we didn't. The best team on the day won it, which was obviously, unfortunately, the other fucking mob. But do you know what? If we'd have said at the start of the season, Gav, right, you and I, mate, looking at me and you in the eye, if we'd have sat down and says to me, if I'd asked you the question, Gav, do you think Celtic would win a cup and a league? Do you think they would have done it?
Well, I'll hold my hands up whenever we discussed even winning the league.
And by the way, we've not won the league yet. It's still fucking in the balance, and I will not be getting ahead of myself. I've not done it this far, and I won't be doing it until the fat lady sings. But we're still in the hunt for a league. We've won the first cup of the season. We took the first scalp. Rangers have took the second scalp so far, which is the Scottish Cup. But they've still not won it. They've still got to contend with Hearts. So nothing's fucking convinced that they've won a cup.
By the way, Hearts looked a live dog against the Hibs, by the way. So can you write off the the ugly jam tarts. But back to your question, Paddy. Whenever we spoke about it at the start of the season on this podcast, you and McGinty, when I said bullet to your head, will Celtic win the league? I know that you and McGinty said I didn't tip Celtic for winning the league, because at that point for me, it was just based on the logical point of view. I was just thinking, did they see what we had in the bag? Did they see the vision? That was prior to the transfer purchases, the exits, the purchases. I just saw no light at the end of the tunnel, and that's why I did not tip Celtic for silverware. But we got the first cup, and in the league, 6 points ahead with massive goal.
You
still with us, Paddy?
Still here, mate. I'm still here.
Well, you've suddenly got a lot better looking anyway. I can just see the
I'm still here, mate. I don't know what the fuck's happened there.
Yeah, we've got a comment from, I don't know, Gone Yourself. I like that. Gone Yourself. Rangers may have deserved to win, but Madden was a pure cunt today. He was a cunt today. Madden was, Paddy's away. Bobby Madden was a shocker.
I'm still here, mate. I'm still here.
Right, what did you think of Bobby Madden? At one point, Roderick, I think it was in the second half, there was like a lot of instances, but one point Roderick was in the second half, but he was in the Celtic half, and he had Bassett all around him, and Bassett was like proper WWE style, hugging him, and Roderick eventually managed to evade him, but Bobby Madden blew for a free kick. At that point, he gave it to Rangers instead of Celtic. I was flabbergasted. That was one of many occasions where Bobby Madden let us down. I thought he had a shocker of a performance. I think Chris Sutton said that as well. They had a shocker of a performance. I don't think any of the challenges today merited a straight-off red card. But if he was more fair with the yellow cards to the Rangers players who merited them, then they would have been much more cautious about being so gung-ho with their challenges, and that would probably have kind of tempered their enthusiasm. They should have put a lot of them on tenterhooks if he was more liberal with the yellow cards, and that was another characteristic of the game whenever the referee was so poor. So I'm just saying that Bobby Madden had a bit of a shocker. I think he wasn't liberal enough with his yellow card for Rangers players.
Oh, mate, Bobby Madden was a fucking disgrace today. Like, the first tackle that came out and he allowed it, which was great refereeing. I thought the first couple of minutes, mate, I thought it was great refereeing, and then you can understand why the second challenge that came out, you can't book him for that, so you're not going to book him for the second tackle, which was absolutely fantastic. I thought really, really good judgment. But then you look at the amount of tackles from Lundstrom. You must have been talking about 3 or 4 bookings easily. Bassey, at least 3 or 4 bookings easily. But do you know what, Gav? I expected that, mate. I really did expect that for Bobby Madden or whoever the fuck it might have been, Jordan Beaton, whoever the fuck it was. I couldn't care less. The referees were a disgrace, but as I say, mate, this isn't a time for laying the blame at somebody's door. It was a poor performance by Celtic. We had every chance to take this to the jugular, and we never done it. So it's just one of the ones, mate. It's a really, really poor. It's a poor day in terms of performance from Celtic, and it's one of the ones you could think like would have been if we'd have beat them. But do you know what? We never beat them, and there's been so many times through Celtic's history where we could have won a treble, and we've not done it. A treble is so hard to come by. And I'm not excusing us for no winning today, but a treble is so hard to fucking win. And for Ange Postecoglou to be expected or to be desired to win a treble in his first season is it's up there, mate. It's up there with the most highest expectations out there. So all I'm saying is, mate, I'm really no. Listen, I am always gutted when I don't win against that lot. But today, mate, I'm actually not that bad because I know how far that we've came from the start to now. And today was a blip. Today was a massive blip. It was a It was a semi-final game. It could have went anyway, and unfortunately for us, it's went their way. But do you know what, mate? That's just the battle. The war's not been won yet, and we're going to win the war.
And by the way, see experiences. I totally agree with you, Paddy. Well said. Experiences like this. See, for the players that we've got who are going to remain in our team next season, experiences like this will help shape them, especially the Japanese lads and the young boy like O'Reilly. It will shape them. You know what I mean? These experiences, you learn more from defeat. You learn more from defeat than what you do for victory. And go back to what you said about trebles. Trebles should be treasured because they're so tantalising. This one was tantalisingly close to us, but you need luck as well as like strength and depth and fitness and everything going well for you and superiority against your opponents. Everything needs to go well for you in order for you to win a treble. So the fact that we won a quadruple treble in our lifetime, we should never ever take it for granted that it should ever be that easy. So Kirby's gone, and it's another defeat that we've witnessed to Rangers in the last few years. But the progress that we are making under Postecoglou cannot be underestimated. And I don't think we went into that game feeling entitled that we should beat them. We're not miles ahead of Rangers. What I would say is this: our trajectory as a team is different from Rangers. We're on the upward trajectory, whereas Rangers have stalled. But we're not miles right now. We're almost kind of neck and neck. We're not miles ahead of Rangers in terms of superiority of squad ability. Any comments that can lift us?
Aye, mate. Just there's kind of James Young summing it up. Celtic not motivated today. It was a strange Easter Sunday, but hey ho. That's kind of my perception of the whole game. Like, I would have loved to have seen us win the game. I thought Easter Sunday, Easter Rising, it was on the cards. But mate, we've lost fucking more important games than today. Today was a massive kick in the balls, but do you know what? On the grand scheme of things, mate, it's not that important. And I know that might sound kind of funny to people that's watching or whatever, but like, it was a bonus. It was a bonus if we won today. And we really should have capitalised on Rangers' exploits during the week. You're talking about them being fatigued, picking up injuries, and Ramsey obviously fucking after about 40 odd minutes or something. But do you know what, mate? As I say, at the start of the season, Gav, if I'd have said to you or McGinty, by the way, we're going to win the first trophy of the season, and we're going to be 6 points ahead before the split, and we're going to lose the semi-final. Would you take that? Aye, you're fucking right, I would. You're right, I would.
I've got a question for you. What do you imagine? Okay, so I would think that tomorrow, Easter Monday, that the players will have the day off. Okay, allowed to spend it with their families because it's the Easter weekend. What do you think Postecoglou will be doing tomorrow once the dust is settled and he's able to reflect upon the game, reflect upon the team and how far they've went this season?
Yep.
How do you think? What do you think his reaction will be to the game and how to improve?
It's a good question, mate. You look at the guys who was supposed to be the kind of the pivotal parts of the team. When you're talking about Maeda, Kyogo, Hatate. Hatate's played a full season. Has his fucking Maeda. Maeda never stopped, mate. Maeda was brilliant. Maeda was fantastic. And you look at guys like Jota, right? And Gav, I don't want to slay anybody here, right? Because I thought that the guys tried their heart out. They really did. But Jota was pish. He really was. Tom Rogic, just back to injury. Terrible. Really, really bad. And it allowed them to overrun in midfield. So you've got two guys in the midfield who one's played a full season in Japan, one who's just back from midfield. So my interpretation of the game was I would really love to have had Beaton playing because he's a guy who could shore up in the midfield. Never
You called
happened.
it to get buffed off.
Aye,
when,
listen. I'm not saying that I know more than fucking Ash Postecoglou, but I thought that Beaton would have been a better choice in midfield. But he went with Hatate and Rogic. Rogic was very much replaceable after about 40 minutes, at least, for O'Reilly. Hatate, again, he never got his foothold in the game. The only person in that midfield three who was really trying their heart out was fucking McGregor. So, I don't know, mate, what can you say? Maida never stopped. Maida is just a guy who's never going to stop the entire game. So he did his game, and then when Forrest came on, Forrest tried again. Like I'm not going to slag Forrest or decry anybody. Forrest tried, but you can see in James Forrest that there's at least 2 or 3 yards missing in his game. Turnbull when he came on, just totally ineffective. It's just no good, mate. No good. But again, this is as I say, Gav. This is a team who has rose for the ashes. It's the Easter rising of a team. You know, they've came for nothing. They've came to Gav. They've came for mediocrity, and they've rose up, and they've won the first trophy of the season, right? Remember that they've won the first trophy of the season. They're still on the hunt to win the league, right? This is the first blip of the season. A big blip, but it's a blip, mate. You can't expect every single team to go out there and win a treble. So,
And if history remembers, the Easter Rising itself wasn't actually an immediate victory that galvanised the people. And I think that with the green shoots of recovery that our team have been shown over the course of this season, it will galvanise our squad, and we will get better and better because the league is within touching distance. Like, obviously, that's the main part. We lost a battle today, but the war.
And there's the fireworks, Gav. There's the fireworks.
That for your neighbours, aye.
Yes.
By the way, whenever you did that, did you see Lee Griffiths do that? So before the game, the cameras panned onto Lee Griffiths, who was standing next to Kieran Tierney in the crowd, and that to some fan. I don't know who it was for. The Celtic 1888, pardon me. Glasgow Celtic champions 2002. Might be getting ahead of yourself. I know that we're in touching distance, but I don't know. Don't count your chickens, mate. Don't count your chickens. Hi Stephen Fairley. Ryan 118, get them all onto your channel. Next season, Gucci will be our central defensive midfielder. I don't know. What have we seen? That I think that we bought him for a purpose. Obviously, we see what Maida does, we see what Kyogo does, we see what Hatate does on their day. We don't really know what Gucci does yet. Still to see that part. So it's a big call for him to be.
Listen, Gav. It's just one of those days, mate. And there's Dom 88. How you doing, pal? Nice to see you. A new face. Well said. We'll win a trophy plus hopefully a title. We'll bounce back. Just a bad day at the office. Is there any updates on injury? No, there's not. But listen, the guys have. The guys have played their heart out this season, Gav. They really have, and to come from where they have at the start, and then bring in basically a brand new team to bring us up to this elevation where we are now. It's been a godsend, mate. Andrew's done an absolute miracle. Whether or not we win the day, and you're not going to win every single game. If you think Celtic's going to come into every single game and win it, then you're fucking deluded. You know. But that's not to say that you can't be disappointed when you lose games, which obviously we are. We are, mate. We're disappointed today. But we've lost the battle, but we've not fucking lost the war. The war is the league, you know, and we're still on fucking course to go and win the league. So whether they bastards win the day, win a cup final, mate, listen, if you look at the overall statistics of a season, and Celtic win a cup final, the Premier Cup, whatever the fuck it is, I can't mind. If Celtic win a cup and a league, and the Southcote only win one cup, that's a victory for Celtic, mate. Of course it is. 100%, mate. And especially even more so from where we started off. You know what I mean? So that's why any other time, Gav, I would be distraught, mate. And I'm gutted today. Of course, I'm gutted. I'd never ever want to see Celtic lose. But today, I'm no gutted because as it stands, we've still got the chance to make history. And that is winning a League Cup and a fucking league after turmoil, you know, and potentially getting straight into the Champions League. So, aye, it's a bit of a back step. It's a big bit of, you know, fucking one step back. But hey, we're still fucking on course to be the champions, mate. So, hail, brother.
I've got Rangers mates who actually told me at the start of the season.
And Gav, sorry, my apologies. Alan Tweedy, go and fuck yourself, you fucking dirty, rotten Hun bastard. Up or ah.
That's a terrible name, Tweedy. Is it Tweedy? Is that his name? Tweedy, man. Fucking hell. I've got Rangers mates who told me at the start of the season to expect the next 5 years of misery being a Celtic fan. And of course, that's not quite the case. And that was on the basis of Rangers winning the league because they couldn't see past themselves and getting the bounty of the Champions League money, strengthen their financial position, and it would weaken our position. And they thought that would be the next 5 years of superiority, of dominance, and the Scottish.
Never hold back against the bastards. Fuck them. Fuck the Lotties.
But at the end of the season, if they do win the Scottish League, if they do win the Scottish Cup, if that's the only thing that they've got to cling on to at the end of this season, then that is a massive notch in our bow. For us to win the league and win that Premier Sports Cup, I can't see them getting any further than the semi-final. Touch wood. But yeah, things are looking good for us. We're of
course it is, Gav. And obviously, as I've said today, mate, it's a kick in the stones for us to lose today, but
that's what it is.
But listen, we can't win every game, mate. We're not that good. And today proves that we need to work on our team. And I know we've had a lot of plaudits, we've had a lot of kind of sensationalism about the team saying it's this good, it's that good. But today, that other team proved that we weren't that good, so we really need to prove on ourselves, mate. We need to prove on our midfield because that's where the game was overrun, as far as I'm concerned. So it could be a blessing in disguise because we've heard from our Australian pals that Ange Postecoglou's team, you don't see the benefits until the second season, you know. So as what it is, fuck it. Do you know? Fuck it. Fuck it, mate. Hey, we're going to win a league. We're going to have won our trophy already. So hey, yeah.
That's it. Hi, to the viewers, in case any of the Rangers people who are actually viewing and hoping for Celtic tears, and you're not going to get it here, you better tune on to another Celtic podcast. You're not going to find it here at all. Because we'll look at the bright side of things, and we're going to win the league. It's not yet done, but we're going to win the league. So fuck you guys, any Rangers people tuning into their podcast. You can get
this finger. See this finger here. Get up here.
Where's it? We need to hammer them at Celtic Park regardless, send them a strong signal. So aye, Paddy, next game is, correct me if I'm wrong, Ross County.
Yes.
Away. Right, mind the last time.
Tough game, mate. Tough game, but
that was the first episode that we got above, like, I think it might have been the first episode we got above 1,000 views.
It was.
Anthony Ralston when he scored the last minute header to win that game. Are you expecting another tough game? I think Ross County, they've got the yes, Paddy, flange.
Paddy poked your ball. Mate, I would even poke a Huns more. There you go. Listen. As you said, Gav, the Ross County game, that was the one where Alston scored the fucking 96-minute winner, I think. So Celtic have proven all season they deserve to be champions. And I don't believe that to be anything untrue. We are going to see it out until the end of the season. We're going to win. Unfortunately, like, even the best fucking teams in the world can't win every single competition. And as I say, fair play to fucking Old Firm United. They won today. They were the better team. No doubts about it. So they deserve to win. Enjoy your trophy, you fucking smelly fucking Hun bastards. Because we will win the league.
By the way, see today's performance.
Smell your maw. Smell your maw.
Mm-hmm. Today's performance, today's result, it doesn't deter me at all. It doesn't dampen my confidence whatsoever for them visiting Parkhead in 2 weeks' time. I still think that we can turn them over at Parkhead again. We beat them 3-0 at Parkhead this season. We've done them 2-1 at Ibrox. I think we can do them again at Parkhead. Today's performance and result does not deter my enthusiasm for that. And for Danielle, thanks for giving us the comment. Still really proud of this team, and you should be feel shocked today, but we won't be with the league. Remember, they were meant to win this league by 30 points. Let's do them at Paradise. 100%. I echo those comments. Paddy, do you have the same enthusiasm for beating them at Parkhead?
Absolutely. As I say, Gav, today was a
blip.
No, Gav, I wouldn't even say it's a blip, mate. I would say it was a rocket up the arse because, like, Ramsey went half injured after, 40 minutes? And they brought in a replacement. So Ramsey's their kind of pivotal fucking figure. And they still managed to win. So fair play to them. They've won today. They'll probably win the Scottish Cup against Hearts. I've got no qualms about that. But you know what? At the end of the day, mate, as I said to you before, start the season, you say, would you take the League Cup and the fucking league? Absolutely. So this is now our chance to say, right, regroup, everybody get intact. Whatever happens today, you've lost here, go and win the league. That's it. That is your remit. Go and win the league. Stick it right up them.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. Bounce back and show that you've learned for defeat.
Marge Somerville to do your total lesson. Aye, get up with your fucking boot.
It's a terrible name as well. Somerville. Who was the other guy we had on? Tweety and Somerville.
Tweety. By the way, that's good, mate, for getting rotten mobs on commenting. So get up with your fucking rotten, smelly bastards.
Why would you be watching a Rangers podcast on a day like this? You know what I mean? Why would you be seeking out a Celtic podcast? I don't get that.
Well, listen, hey, as I say, mate, we must be making inroads. So
that's a fucking experiment in psychology, isn't it? When your team win and you tune into a Celtic podcast, they must be happy people, huh? Happy people. I don't understand internet troll, but
so congratulations on winning your one and only trophy of the season, you fucking smelly cunts.
Aye, Paddy. I take it you were going to go today if it was a different result. What was your plans?
Listen, mate. As I say, today was a bonus. If we'd have won today, it was a massive bonus. But I'm not going to be gutted or overawed or this and that. Listen, as I say, mate, a treble's so hard to win. There's only been so many trebles won in our history. Obviously, losing against that crowd is a gutter, but it is what it is, mate. At the end of the day, you're only going to look back to see who won the league.
Can I ask you a question a wee question about goalkeepers? I don't know if you or any of the viewers watched the
because their podcasts are shouting 1-0. You're right, Rabito.
Good response, mate. Right, I don't know if you or the viewers watched the Liverpool and Man City game yesterday. I'm not going to talk about that. What I wanted to talk about was the difference that a proper keeper who's very good at passing it from the back and how that impacts a team's performance. So obviously Ederson, one of probably the best in the game as a keeper who can pass it from the back. He was on the bench and they had this other, an American guy, I think it was, and the guy had a bit of a, he had the howler. So although today I thought Hart did fairly well, I've got no qualms with Hart's performance today. What I wanted to ask you was, what if Ange spots an opportunity to recruit a goalkeeper who's very, very adept at passing it out from the back? Do you think if he went for that, then it could spell the end of Hart, even though Hart's a very good shot stopper, even though he's a very good character in the dressing room and he organises the defence well? You think if Postecoglou finds his man for passing out from the back who's better than Hart? I'm not saying Hart is bad. If he finds someone who's much better than Hart, do you think it could spell the end for Hart as a number one? Bit of an evil question. I feel like a traitor asking that. I feel
no, mate, no. Next season, you're going to see the arrival of Toby Oluwumye from the B team. Joe Hart's going to be number one. He's only 35, so Joe Hart could be potentially our number one for the next 3 seasons. And I've got no qualms about saying Joe Hart could be our number one for the next few seasons. But of course, you need to look at who's going to kind of push Joe Hart. And I would think that young Toby is going to be in the way to do that. Barkas can go to fuck because he's a disgrace. Scott Bain, whether he be a nice guy, he's not the answer. So I'm more than happy to say that guys from our B team, Gav, is going to be the ones that's pushing guys on. You look at Rocco Vata, for example. He's going to be guys that's pushing the fucking wingers on as well. So, aye, that is what it is, mate. But Joe Hart's got nothing to be embarrassed about today. It was
didn't mean it like that. There was nothing.
No, I know, mate. I know.
I was just thinking about yesterday as an example with Man City, the difference between a keeper who is okay at the back to a keeper who's very, very good at the back.
And there's Lanky saying that next season I can see Connor Hazard being our first choice goalkeeper. He's done pretty well at HJK. Lanky, no offence, pal, but Connor Hazard can go to fuck because he's pish.
I'll hold my hands up. Like, I don't know what he's been doing in Finland, so he must be doing something right for Lanky.
He probably is, mate. But he's not done good enough while he was at Celtic to be the next backup. So whether he goes to HJK or fucking Hull or Barcelona, whoever it may be, he's not going to be good enough to come back here and be the number one at Celtic. So you're looking at either bringing in a new guy to come back to back up Bain, or you look at guys like young Toby who are doing the job, you know. So
I've been hearing good things about Toby. I've only seen him once in the flesh.
Very good.
Can I just say the tricolour response for the Celtic fans today was very, very admirable. It was a wonderful sight.
Lanky, I appreciate it, mate. I really understand what you're saying, pal. But I've saw Hazard, and I have got no optimism about Connor Hazard whatsoever. He's a big guy. He's like 6'7", 6'8", but he's really he's a pish goalkeeper. I will try to kind of mediate between. I'm sorry, mate. He's not good enough. He's really not good enough. I appreciate where you're coming from, but believe me, he's pish.
Shut it, Paddy. Lanky, I would say, with all due respect, no, but Lanky, I would say that I could only retort to that if I'd seen Hazard over a prolonged period of time. I haven't done that, so maybe you've seen something that we haven't. Maybe you're seeing hope, performances that give you hope that we haven't. So obviously you're not saying it for the sake of it. Maybe he is actually doing well. Ange Postecoglou, I'll trust in that guy. So we'll see what decision he makes.
Listen, Lanky, I'm not saying that you're wrong. Absolutely not. You forget. This
think you
is what we do. This is what we do, mate. We give you guys a platform to speak your mind, and we really do appreciate it. Obviously, I'm giving a different opinion, so as mate, you're just a supporter. I'm just a supporter. I'm no right any more than you are. So,
Paddy will shoot you down if you're wrong, though.
no, listen, mate. You've got every right to speak your mind. I've got a different opinion. That's all it is. That's all it is, buddy.
Aye, but before you said that, by the way, the fans for the tricolours today, I thought they did very, very well in response to the ban from the Hampden authorities for having a tricolour tifo. By the way, I think on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the SPFL are due to vote on VAR. The average cost is going to be 1.4 million. 1.4 million over the course of a year. And that will be divided amongst how many teams? I think the top team, the champions, they'll have to foot about 16% of that bill. For us, I think that'll be pocket change. But a yes vote, if it does get voted in, it will be introduced right after the Qatar World Cup. An interesting proposition. And I know that a lot of people don't like VAR, but you can't be left in the backwaters of football and society to roll with the times, unfortunately. So it's prolonging the inevitable. So it's going to happen. It'll be weird as fuck, man. By the way, a Qatari World Cup will be weird as fuck. And that followed with VAR will just be a surreal experience. But aye, they're voting on Tuesday. One of the ones. I don't know why I'm taking away from the Celtic. I'm talking about VAR right now. Paddy, what are your thoughts? Yeah.
More than happy, mate. More than happy to take the VAR to get rid of the fucking ridiculous decisions Scottish football. Because today was another example. Bobby Madden, fucking idiot, prick, fanny, shocking.
I wonder how his bosses would evaluate his performance today, regardless of VAR.
Probably a wee fucking a wee backhander, mate. Wee backhander.
I'm not in the mood. I would watch it again if he won. I wouldn't watch it again if he lost. But just to analyse his performance, I thought it was really, really great. Paddy, will we wrap it up then? Back on Tuesday.
Yep.
Right. To the viewers, I hope you're not gutted. Obviously, you're gutted to an extent, but the Celtic, the Rangers game, we lost. You'll be sad, but the league is almost there. So, these are like...
C'est la vie, mate. C'est la vie. We've lost one. We're on course to win two. So, two is better than one.
Aye. Paddy and his fingers. An ominous sight. Right, guys, don't be gutted. And by the way, be safe tonight. You know what happened 2 weeks ago? We a lot of trouble in Glasgow. So watch where you're going. Take care of yourselves. Sound like fucking... I sound like Jerry Springer after an episode of that. Aye. But have a good one, okay? And
correct. Give us a wee subscribe. Ring the wee bell. All that shite.
All right. Well, have a good one, okay? Enjoy your day after tomorrow if you go to Arthur Bank Holiday Monday. But aye. Catches.
Gav, love you, son.
I love you too, pal. I know your fingers.
On the hoops.